Hello everybody. Okay, let's see. Let's make sure that the audio levels are correct before we do anything. How do I sound, everybody? Is it good? Are we pansies? Yep. All right. I don't know why I said that. But so if you were unaware, this is where I take the political compass test. That's what we're going to be doing here in a hot second. But before we get in on this, I just want to reiterate that we are doing something interesting on this channel, which is I will pick a promotion from wherever it is that I can pull it out of my ass of. Every time that I do this kind of thing, I'd like to help the little guy, the smaller YouTuber, or endorse something that I'm into myself, just to kind of show that I support people, because I don't always do that. Delay out of sync. Yeah, I know that it is. I'm still trying to figure it out. But as of right now, how are we doing? Aside from that shenanigans, I sound like a 14-year-old. Thank you. Anyway, on this channel, I like to promote other people that I find cool and interesting. Last week, we promoted the Blunt stream. This week, we will be promoting my co-host. She's an author as well as a YouTuber, some American, aka Teresa J. Martin. If you haven't heard of her, she wrote Livescraft, and she also just came out with the second book in that series called Jorda. And little tidbit of advice, or not information for you guys, but she also has a book trailer out that I'm going to be playing here in a hot second. And the fun fact about this trailer is that I also wrote the musical score for this. So she did the video editing and I did the musical score, and we put it together, and this was the final product. So I hope you guys enjoy this. It's about 1:45, so that's what we're gonna do first, and then we'll get into the rest of the political compassing stuff. All right, so. Yep. Alright, so I'm about to turn on the desktop audio so that you guys can hear Jolandar and Messiah. So, Messiah, Jolandar, if you have anything horrible to say about me before... I'm just kidding. I'm turning it on. You're live now. You don't get a chance to say things. Now you do.
Poopy.
Weebo Jones touched me inappropriately.
How the fuck did I do that? I'm sitting here in my chair and there's no one else in here. Anyway, so, yeah. We are, I have to present the thing with the screen and the stuff. So, everyone, we are taking the political compass test today, and I have them linked down in the description if you'd like to also look at them. But right now, I would like to draw your attention to one of my shilling things, also because we're not done shilling. I have put out a new t-shirt. It's kind of similar to the old-timey t-shirts of the Teespring store, but this is on Redbubble, and you can get it in coffee cup and coffee mug. So that's even better. It says Redhead Lives Matter, Boeing A864, Apache writes, our human rights, no offensive jokes, is illegal. Binary is real. Facts are facts, and it's basically the shitpost ET. So you can get it in t-shirt, you can get it in phone case, you can get it in wall art, and you can get it in bags and stationery type stuff. And that's just an important shill. If you'd like to support your favorite content creator, maybe I'm not your favorite content creator, but a good way to do that is to look at their links in the description for shenanigans that maybe you can support them with. They offer certain stuff. So that's linked in the description. What also is linked in the description is the Streamlabs, which you should totally check out if you feel so inclined. Don't worry about it, though. It is what it is. And I see Messiah has left us. Let's bring him back in here. And then let's also bring Berserker5150 in here. Hello, gentlemen. Messiah, why would you leave me like that?
I am very sorry about that. I actually misclicked it. I meant to mute my mic because the damn telemarketers won't stop calling me.
That's fair. You dumbass, but that's okay. We are all dumbasses here. So, we are taking the political compass test. And by we, I mean me. The royal we, as in me. I've taken this before, also live on air, I think, pretty much. But this time we're going to do it professionally, and we're going to see how far I have shifted in terms of politically compassed shenanigans. I also have the political, and it's loading, the political coordinates test, the definitive political orientation test, the 8 values test, and then if we feel so inclined and we have time today, the 16 personalities test, just to, you know, pad the runtime, because that's what I'm all about.
She means the 14 words test.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. So, this is the political compass test. If you're unfamiliar with it, this is supposed to tell me where on the political compass I sit politically. That's it. So, we're gonna go through it, see what's up. It's not the most, you know, interesting of content, but it's content, and I think that some people are intrigued to see where I fall, because it has been a point of contention, like, oh, she's a libertarian, oh, she's a conservative, no, she's a little bit more liberal than we think she is. We're gonna find out today where it is that Weebo Jones sits. There we go. Yep.
In her chair.
It'll
be interesting to see where you've drifted to.
Yeah, because Jolandar, you were there the last time I took this, right?
That's correct.
Exactly. So, let's get into this. This is page 1 of 6. And we're going to go through the proportions to start with, concerning, no less, how you see the country and the world. By the way, this is all linked in the description if you'd like to take this along with me. We're going to go exploring our politics, everybody. Everyone should do this at least once in their life. I do believe. Do they come out with new editions of this every year? Do you know?
They
update it.
They update it? Okay, so then it's not just me that changes, it's the test itself that changes as well.
I was gonna say it looks the same from last time I took it, but...
If they update it, they update it. If not, then I'm updated, I guess.
The 2 I took, like, vastly shifted. I went from sort of center, but mostly right, to, like, 1 square grid off of center.
Yeah. By the way, if you guys want in on the call-in segment, there's a link to the Discord in the description where you can join the Discord and then verify yourself, and then you can hop in the waiting room and I'll pull you in. Just Jolandar or someone in the live stream chat. Tell me if there's someone in there waiting. Oh, I see Yufio wants it.
Yeah, the Yufio.
Yep, I see him. I see him. Yufio, you are on with us. You're also muted, so speak now or forever hold your peace. So let's get into this. If economic globalism is inevitable, it should primarily serve humanity rather than the interest of transnational corporations. Now, what I think they mean by transnational corporations is transnational corporations, if I'm not misunderstanding that. And I'm gonna say, oh god, I forgot how out of my depth I am on this stuff. First question, what the fuck does that mean? Economic globalism is inevitable. Gotta break it down. You know, you guys know I'm a computer science major, so this is completely out of my wheelhouse.
Economic globalization, just the world economy, basically.
The world economy.
A one world economy, basically.
Yeah. It's all supposed to be interconnected with one another. So, like, if one country...
Well, no, I got that part. It's the primarily serve humanity rather than interests of transnational corporations. That part is ambiguous. And so I don't know how to interpret it, is my issue.
Well, it pretty much is saying, should economic globalization serve people or Google?
Okay, thank you for simplifying that.
Yeah.
Should it serve humanity or should it serve Google? There's no neutral middle ground, because I don't really give a fuck, to be honest. Should serve humanity rather than the interests of... Because I feel like Google is, to some degree at least, subservient to the humanity thing. I mean, like, if they don't please the humans, then you know,
It's
they're
kind
not
of a
going to
chain
do well.
reaction, then.
It is a chain reaction, I feel. So I'm going to say disagree. It shouldn't serve humanity. Because
Yes,
economies, it'll fall in place in line, essentially.
Yeah.
I always support my country, whether it is right or wrong. I disagree with that. I would not support a country that goes to war in certain nations when we don't need to. I think that that's unnecessary, and I would like to see our troops return home when they do go out. So that's my opinion. I don't think that we're infallible, obviously. No one chooses his or her country of birth, so it's foolish to be proud of it. Now, I will agree with that. No one chooses their country of birth, but at the same time, I'm gonna say that no one chooses their skin color, their heritage, so it's kind of ridiculous to be proud of any of that. You'd be proud of your accomplishments. You disagree?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of reasons to be proud of the country you're born in, not necessarily if you have a choice or not, because there's plenty of people that choose the country they live in and are proud of.
Yeah, no, I can get behind being proud of your country of choice, too, as well. So if you, like, okay, so...
But the wording is country of birth.
Yeah.
Right.
I know the wording. That's why I said I disagreed originally.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem with the political compass test, is that it's rather ambiguous in certain areas.
I mean, in the previous question, you didn't consider country to mean people, but now in this question, you are saying the people's accomplishment is the country.
I didn't actually think about it like that. That's not what I said. I said I always support my country, whether it's right or wrong. I didn't. Countries are infallible, just like people are infallible. I don't always support what a country does necessarily action-wise. So when I say I don't choose my country, I think you're reading into what I'm saying a little bit too much, maybe.
Well, I guess we just have to define what what you mean by country, just so.
What I mean by country? I mean where it is that you are, like, a sovereign nation of people.
Yeah, that would be a country.
Yeah, but some people hear country, they think government. Other people think country and they think regular people. Other people think the nation, the people's ideals are what the country is.
Those are all part of a country.
Anybody's talking about sovereign citizens here, so let's just stick to the basic concept of a country. Like, oh, these people are Americans, these people are British, those people are Israeli. That idea.
Yeah, I wasn't getting too specific about, like, oh, who is who and what is what, and what does this word mean necessarily, because my perception of country is just these people live in this area, and it encompasses, yes, government, but it also encompasses the people living in it. A country is not just this or this.
Oh no, that's fair. It's just as long as you're consistent with how you're defining it. Just because it's going to keep coming up, and
yeah.
Well, hold on, Weebo. Stop me if I'm having a misunderstanding here. But going back to kind of what you were alluding to a little bit earlier, is what you meant to say, like, you can recognize the achievements of your country that you were born in or you live in? But
yes.
So long as you yourself have not done anything to actually contribute to it, you should not necessarily feel a sense of pride?
Yeah, exactly. So I can recognize that, for instance, this nation has abolished slavery, right? But I took no part in that achievement.
Right.
So I can't take pride in the fact that this nation has abolished slavery in the past. Just like I can't take credit for the fact that we had slavery in the past as well. Do you see what I'm getting at?
Yeah, no, I understand. That's the same mindset that I was at, but I was just wanting to see if that was similar to what, because I think that you were kind of going in that direction a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm. So I accidentally plus the agree one for this one. Our race has many superior qualities compared with other races. I'm gonna
you can
disagree. Yeah, no, I pressed disagree.
My biggest complaint with this test compared to others is there's no I neither agree nor disagree option.
Yeah, that's my complaint too. Is I can't say neither. I don't have an opinion.
That's because it has to place you somewhere on the spectrum of the political landscape, so it has to have an opinion one way or the other.
Yeah, but there's no room for neutrality here. Because there are people who don't have a strong opinion on certain issues and people who do have strong opinions one way or the other on certain issues, but there's no, like, middle ground that you can take. In the middle, or no ground, even.
I think it more or less is just trying to make you actually think and make a decision on it, which is kind of a bit of a complaint of mine, because some of these things you actually have to stew over for quite some time, as opposed to, you know, the span of time it takes to sit down and take one of these tests.
Yeah.
How are we defining races? Are we just saying 3 races, or are we saying all ethnicities is its own race?
I was just going off of skin colors.
The base concept of race. That's a white person, therefore they are white. That's a black person, therefore they are black. We're not going to break it down to this is a white person of Caucasian descent, or Irish, or Italian, or any of that.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, there's usually those 2 types, like you know, the black, white, and Asian. Like those are the 3 races according to the more general medical side of things. If you could include ethnic groups, you know, like Polish is different from Russian, you know.
Yeah, but they said races. They didn't say ethnic groups necessarily. Because when I think ethnic, I think they have different cultural heritages. They're from the same community, not they're from the same race. Because I do think that race is too broad to be, oh yeah, we have superior qualities, because there's too much differentiation between those individual groups. Now, if it were to change to say, I don't know, cultural identities, then I might have an argument here for agreement, but I'm going to disagree on principle here, because it's too general. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. The next one. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because they could still have it out for me too as well.
The enemy of my enemy is my future enemy.
The enemy of my enemy is my... Like, because if you're aligning yourself with other people based on the principle of, oh, well, we have a common enemy, how long until you are that common enemy for that person and someone else too?
Right.
A prime example being America and Russia in World War II. The enemy of my enemy was Russia, who eventually became my actual fucking enemy in the Cold War.
Yeah.
And Al-Qaeda.
And to expand it onto there, Osama bin Laden was our friend when we were fighting the USSR, and then all of a sudden he decides to crash a plane into one of our towers.
Exactly.
Towers.
And we created Al-Qaeda.
Military action that defines international law is sometimes justified. Now, okay, I'm not entirely sure what they mean by this exactly, so...
Basically, if you want to go outside of the realm of what the UN defines as a legal war, in order to declare war on another state due to something that they may or may not have done to you.
Mm-hmm.
The Second Iraq War.
Okay.
Right. Basically something like that.
Well, if I simplified this down to something a little bit less global, like, oh, murder that defies, you know, sovereign law is sometimes justified, I could say yes. I would agree with that. Sometimes it can be justified. Now,
remember, international law does recognize preemptive action as justified. However, preemptive means, like, you shoot down the plane over the Pacific Ocean that's on its way to shoot one of your buildings down. Like,
okay.
So that would be following international law.
Okay.
What the Iraq War is called preventive war, which was we think they might attack us. So that's not preemptive war, so that's why it did not fall under international law.
Oh, okay. See, this is why I take the compass test with people, so that I know what they're talking about, and, you know, because I'm a dum-dum. I don't know if you guys know this, but my area of expertise is actually not in politics, it's in computer science and psychology. So, disclaimer there, I am an expert of nothing. Jack of all trades, yes. Expert in none of them. So, I think, okay then, in that case, since you've explained it to me as such, and that's the way that I understand it, I'm going to disagree if it defies international law. But I'm a little bit iffy on that because I'm not familiar with international law intimately. So I don't know.
Yeah, you almost have to read up on the whole thing before.
Exactly. There is now a worrying fusion of information and entertainment. I wouldn't say worrying necessarily, but I would say that there is an oversaturation of the market in terms of entertainment and information.
And I think in this context, they're talking about worrying as in is the fusion
Worrying.
degrading the the news basically.
Yeah,
or is a fusion
Degrading the quality.
Degrading the quality of like Star
and veracity,
Wars, for example.
Well, see, that's why I hate these questions, because they're so open to interpretation. That worrying word, worrying how? Like, worrying in what way?
And I also disagree with the word "now" being put in there, because I think there's always been an issue with information and entertainment being blurred together.
Yeah, like it's always been a thing. One could even stretch it to say.
Yeah. Cynical Lindsay in the chat. I hear you, Weebs. Every time I take one of these political compass quizzes, there's always that one question where I have to ask my husband, what the fuck does that mean? That's why I like taking these with other people there to explain to me certain things. Because I'm 20. Not only am I ignorant, but I'm like a young ignorant. So I'm learning while I'm doing. Okay, so I'm distracting myself from this because I really don't know how to answer this question. Worrying fusion of information and entertainment. This is always... The first one is always the worst, I think. Like the first page of the political compass test. Worrying fusion of information and entertainment. I'm gonna disagree, because there's always gonna be that other person that's like, fuck that noise, you know? Because entertainment and information isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think it just has to do with the way that you're biasing that information. Certainly. Yeah, let's go with that. Next page.
Page 1 down.
Jesus, that took... That,
one of 64.
Oh, God, I'm so glad it's only 6 pages. Now the economy. We're talking attitudes here, not the FTSE index. I don't know what the fuck that means.
FTSE. It's the FTSE is the British Stock Exchange.
What the fuck? Alright,
who cares about the British Stock Exchange?
Yeah, I'm all about that America, bitch. That was just the first page,
Most countries are concerned.
Oh, God. Zephyr Lowtide, I see you in the waiting room, and we're bringing you on. Hi, Zephyr.
I told you about him like 15 minutes ago.
You did? Well, you gotta make sure I acknowledge you. Okay, just be like, Weebo, did you hear me? Weebo.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Even though she's only a year younger than me, she has less of an attention span than I do, which is fine.
I do, which is why when you guys write me essays and give me like 40-minute videos to watch, I'm just like, I can't do that. I watch shit on like 5 times the speed of the original shit. Because 1, I don't have enough time, and 2, I don't have a long enough attention span. Sorry. People are ultimately divided more by class than nationality. I'm gonna agree with that, actually. That's one of the stronger agree ones that I'm gonna agree on.
Uh-oh, Marxist alert.
Oh, shut up. Shut your whore mouth, sir.
Comrade Weebo.
You're a Rebo?
No, I am Queen Weebo. Controlling inflation is more important than controlling unemployment. I honestly don't know how to answer.
Good luck with that one.
Jesus fuck. I'm not an economist.
Yeah,
well,
there's
okay,
so many layers to that.
Yeah, it doesn't say hyperinflation, it just says inflation. So
just inflation.
What Venezuela has is hyperinflation, which obviously is a huge issue.
Mm-hmm.
That would be uncontrolled inflation.
Yeah, okay, so inflation's gonna happen no matter what, right? And so the thing that controls inflation is usually unemployment. Like, if people have enough money to put back into the economy, that also alters and fluctuates the inflation rate, versus if they're unemployed and they can't put that money back into the economy.
That
right?
and the government. Our government also does it. The Treasury deals a large part in controlling inflation.
Yeah. Okay.
Or if everything is too expensive on the market, then they aren't going to be putting money back into the market, so...
Correct.
I think I'm gonna
It's really a catch-22 on this one.
But then stagflation is actually usually considered much worse than moderate inflation. So what Japan had in the 80s, when too many people were saving their money, putting it under their mattresses, and no one was investing, that was much worse for the economy than just like a 10% inflation rate.
So apparently I'm both a conformist normie and pro-gulag. Thank you, chat. I see that. I see you. I'm observing this. Total Marxist. No, I'm a staunch capitalist. I think. We'll see.
I don't know.
This test is gonna tell me what I am. And then I'm gonna get in line. Don't you know that? Alright, because corporations cannot be trusted to voluntarily protect the environment, they require regulation. I'm gonna disagree on principle of capitalism because I believe that people get to vote with their dollar what corporations can and can't be trusted with. I also think that it hang on. Let me explain. All right. So I also think that it is up to, it's gonna sound silly, but the media to expose who it can and cannot be trusted, and then it's up to us to vote with our dollar. On my armpits issue.
But Jeff Bezos will trump your dollar with his $100 billion. So if you're voting with your dollars, he's gonna win.
Okay, but can he win against several million people and their dollars?
He's got $100 billion, yeah.
Okay, but you say that like you think that he's gonna go out of his way to spend $100 billion on this one thing just to spite the people.
Well, all
Not
the billionaires?
necessarily.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, because they can get even more money if they have to spend less on environmental regulation stuff that they do now. That way they can get more money.
And then the same corporations own the media.
Well, hold on. You're ignoring a big fucking point here. What about all of the trillionaire oil barons in the Middle East that can fucking flood out those billionaires if they wanted to? Like, you're arguing from one side without looking at the flip of a coin. Like, hey, if you eliminate all the regulations, the fucking oil barons can make even more money, but they already have most of it. Therefore, what's the fucking point? Just sit there and buy millions of Ferraris or whatever the fuck rich people do.
Oh, great. Now I've gone from commie to ANCAP. This is great.
Weebo, basically, my biggest point of contention that I have with you on that one is...
Oh, no, I'm open to hearing it. Just let me know. Just let it loose. I don't know what I'm talking about in this instance. Yeah, I'm an ignorant slut.
That's okay.
And we love you for it.
Oh, thank you. But that's why we do this, because I want to put myself on blast. Because I want to know what I don't know already. And I know a lot. I don't. Sorry, continue. You were saying. You were owning me.
No, not necessarily owning you. I'm not even sure what action this is going to elicit, but
Jesus fuck, hang on. We have a donation and I can't see it. Where did it happen?
Come on, you dumb slut, pull it up.
Damn it. This was not the technical difficulty that was prophesied in chat.
Do we not have... No, there's no donation? Oh, no. Oh, no. I just heard the bring. Where it left. It's gone. It's no more. Okay, that's cool. Continue. You were saying.
Alright, I was going to... Okay, nobody's interrupting me. I was going to say, back in 1969, before a majority of these EPA regulations were elicited, there's a river up in my home state of Ohio, up near Cleveland, called the Cuyahoga River. That river actually caught fire because of all the pollution that was inside of it.
Oh.
And they battled that for, I think, like 3 days. It's pretty ridiculous when you have to call the fire department on a literal body of water because it's so fucking bad.
Okay.
I think we also don't have any dead rivers in the country anymore, but during the 80s and 70s and 60s, we had quite a few dead rivers. Where
no, Cuyahoga River's still terrible.
Is it still dead? Well, it's not, but it's not dead. I mean, it was completely lifeless before that.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you drive past it, like I have, and you look up on the shore of it, it looks like it's just an entire beach of dead fish just lying on either side of the river.
Okay, so what I'm hearing here is that the dollar from a person's pocket is not going to make that much difference in the long run. We can't vote with our wallets.
No,
Or-
corporations don't care about the environment. They care about the dollar in your wallet.
Exactly.
Okay, that's fair. And it requires other people to care enough about the environment, which obviously they don't, right? Yeah, okay. I'm changing my answer. I agree. You have dissuaded me from the disagree pile. That doesn't mean that I'm floppy like a dick, alright, guys? Just so you know, I have strong opinions. Just sometimes I'm uncertain. And that's okay. That's okay. Get back in line. That's okay. That's why I only talk about, like, the stuff that I know about. Yep. Alright, from each according to his ability to each according to his need is a fundamentally good idea. No!
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 No,
Fuck you, communist.
You know where I know that from?
That is from the Communist Manifesto.
Well, yeah, I know it's from the Communist Manifesto, but you know where I heard that first? Atlas Shrugged. Or something along those lines, because I read Atlas Shrugged in high school, and it stuck with me, and I was like, oh, fuck this noise. I don't like this. This sucks. Because that was like a theme. It was a theme that Ayn Rand was kind of trying to be like, fuck that noise, the whole book, and I was like, I'm on board, Ayn Rand. Okay, sorry. Objectivism rant. It's a sad reflection of our society that something as basic as... Weebo learns to read. It's a sad reflection of our society that something as basic as drinking water is now a bottled, branded consumer product. Yes, actually, I think it is sad because it falls from the fucking sky! It's very easy, theoretically, to purify that shit. If you know your chemistry.
Sure, you can bottle your own. Or you can just buy from the store, which is the convenience factor is what you're paying for.
Yeah, I know. You're paying for the convenience of having it bottled for you. Like, here's the thing, right? It falls from the literal sky. Just bucket it, alright? And purify it yourself. You don't have to bottle it and then, you don't have to go to the store, literally buy someone else's bottled water, and then bring it back to your house. That's just, I don't...
Well, some places it's illegal to collect rainwater.
And that's another issue. Why is it illegal to collect rainwater? I know that's a thing, and why is it a thing?
Let's ask California.
Because the government doesn't want you to find all those chemicals in the water that are turning the friggin' frogs gay.
That's right. It's a sad reflection of our society. I'm gonna strongly agree with that.
It's only illegal in California during droughts.
To collect rainwater?
Yeah, because it's preventing water from getting back into the
I guess
ecosystem.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It both makes sense and doesn't make sense at the same time, because even Texas, in the middle of a drought, you can still collect rainwater.
Different state, different regulations.
Yep.
Go about that.
I mean, California really doesn't go through multi-year droughts like Texas is known to either. So there's always been my argument.
Well, right now,
yes, they are.
Yeah, they are in a 5-year, and all the forests burning is from the drought.
I'm gonna voice a quick disagreement.
Yes.
With that point, if I may.
Yeah. What's up?
Now your argument is that water is already in ready supply, so why would people ever need to pay for it? You know,
well, not pay for it necessarily, but why are we paying for the convenience of bottled water necessarily?
Well, that's the thing. They're still paying for it. You're forgetting about another renewable resource that's never going to run out, and that's idiots. Idiots will buy anything.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, it is a sad reflection of our society. So that hence
well, no, it's not necessarily. I don't think it's a sad reflection on our society as a whole, because I think it's actually quite a good thing, establishing a sense of hierarchy here by having people who are smart enough to realize that, hey, there's a niche market for this, and I can make $1 off of this. Why the hell not?
I guess the question's kind of weirdly phrased. Like,
it is.
If it's an ethical, like, is it sad that people will pay for bottled water, or is it sad
that we're taking advantage of those idiots?
Well, or is it sad that these companies, the Coca-Cola company, gets government subsidized water for far below a true market value, and then upcharge it, 10,000%.
Right.
It's just a sad reflection. I'm just gonna go with that. I strongly agree with it. It's a sad reflection, no matter how you look at it. It's sad. Okay, land shouldn't be a commodity to be bought or sold. I'm gonna disagree. It should be bought and sold. I don't have a problem with that.
I guess it also depends on which land. Like, should the wetlands be bought and sold?
No, they're not going that. They're not going that depth into it. They're
Yeah, I'm not.
land
Just
by
land in
itself.
Besides,
general.
Walt Disney freaking built Disney World on wetlands, so.
Oh sure, they built New Orleans on wetlands, but no, yeah, land is to me is the ultimate place your money should go. Because
Okay.
they don't make more land.
Next question. Because, oh my god, we're half an hour in, guys. We're not even done with the second page. We're not going to get to any of these other quizzes.
Hope you're all lonely on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, hey everyone who's lonely on Valentine's Day. Funny story, I haven't spent a Valentine's Day with Weebonitis in 3 years. I haven't spent an anniversary with him in 3 years either. It's because I've been away at college whenever we have that. So,
Welcome to the club.
I mean, there's being single on Valentine's Day, and then there's being alone on Valentine's Day, despite the fact that you're not single, and I think that's a lot suckier.
You've had a lot of dildos sent to you. You'll figure it out.
No, I haven't. I've only had the one. And then
But you
2
sent
dick
it
candles.
away.
Yeah.
Jolandar,
By the way,
You gave that dildo to you.
I sent her a dildo and 2 dick candles. What else can I do?
you sent me the dick candles?
Who else would send them?
I don't know. I thought
You should have known it was him, to be fair.
that.
And the name was supposed to be on it.
Nope, they weren't. Wait, your name was supposed to be on it?
Either.
Oh, alright. Yeah, no, that didn't happen. Also, they didn't smell like anything, so you dropped the ball tenfold. Sorry. Tangent!
At least you burned them.
I burned one. And then Magog got mad at me because I was showing off the other one on camera. For side quest one night. Ooh. I hope he went back and he, like, blurred out the dick. Okay, side tangent.
No,
over.
he didn't. He didn't. Because I had to rewatch it. So I was working that night, and no, they were still this.
Oh. Well, no one strike that one down because it's important that we have the ability to stream for the show. All right. It is regrettable that many personal fortunes are made by people who simply manipulate money and contribute nothing to their society. No, I don't think it's regrettable. I think that if you can game the system, that's peak human ingenuity. If they're manipulating money, I mean, they are contributing in a sense that they are exposing a loophole in a system that they are taking advantage of something that you should have totally prepared for. You should have been like, yeah, humans are gonna do this. We have to be smarter than that and not let that happen. I'm gonna disagree.
So as a corollary to that, do you support regulations against that type of thing?
Yeah, I'll support a regulation against manipulating money. It just depends on how people are manipulating money. I mean, here's the thing, right?
You don't want a George Soros sort of money manipulation. You want more of a Donald Trump sort of money manipulation.
Yeah, manipulating money on its own is not a bad thing. It's an exposure of a weakness in your system that I think that you could probably fix that given the right legislation if necessary. But it requires, the amalgamation of a whole bunch of people coming together and be like, yeah, this is a big enough problem that we need to fix it. Versus, oh, maybe it's just, it's a thing that exists. It's no biggie. If people can do that, that's the way that it is. Loopholes are important, but I don't think they're like the end of the world. But I don't think that they're the end of the world. I think that it's a spectrum. Protectionism is sometimes necessary in trade. Now, what do they mean by protectionism? Is that
kind of like an armed escort?
Tariffs.
No, not armed, but escort. Things like what China's been accused of, where they manipulate trade deals, or like the tariffs that the trade wars we're getting into with tariffs right now.
Yeah. Okay, so the ability to game the opposition in trade is sometimes necessary. I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that, because you're working in a system that's not created equally, so you gotta take steps to equalize, maybe? I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know anything about the economy.
Well, I mean, basically, it's the same beat that you had in your previous point, where you said, hey, if people can manipulate the system, good for them.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing here.
Yeah, if they game the system, good for them, but that doesn't mean that we stop trying to make it difficult for them to game the system. I mean, show me the weaknesses, but that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna shut it down.
But Ayn Rand would be very against protectionism.
Well, I'm not Ayn Rand, am I? I like her book, but not because I agree with everything in it. It's actually
She
really
liked
well
the pretty
written.
Pictures.
I don't think there were any pictures in that book, were there? No,
There
it's
was
a
cover.
like okay, that doesn't count. 1,000 just it's like reading a Bible. I'm not kidding, right? The pages
no,
were
no,
super
it's
thin.
huge.
It was thick as fuck. I read that whole thing cover to cover.
Here, I got a copy right here. Let me check how many pages are in it.
I was
I think
very
it's
disappointed in it because I
upwards of
thought it was a sci-fi. Because the picture on the front of the one that I started to read was a very kind of sci-fi looking thing. I've been reading a lot of sci-fi books at times. Oh, let me try this one. I was very disappointed.
Well, I mean, it was still good. I can enjoy content removed from its political message, too. I'm one of those rare people that can do that. The only social responsibility of a company should be to deliver a profit to its shareholders. Now, this is a public company, right? Not one that's private enterprise. Did I use those words correctly? I think I did, but I'm not sure. Okay.
Yeah. With public shareholders, yeah.
Yeah, the only social responsibility should be.
Because right now, legally, the company, through the Supreme Court, the only responsibility a company has is to deliver profits to its shareholders.
And the shareholders, they determine how much money a company has at their disposal, right? And so if they don't please their shareholders, not necessarily in a profit, because I mean, you have to deliver a profit, but the shareholders can also pull their interests if they're not happy with something that the customer is doing, right?
Shareholders are not quite the investors. There is a difference.
Yeah, investors are. Yeah, I mean it's a slight difference because shareholders are also investors.
Shareholders are basically the people who hold stock.
Yeah, they hold stock.
Yeah, they hold a piece of the company.
Okay, but in purchasing a piece of that company, aren't they also technically investing just a little bit?
Right, that's what they're slight investors.
Yeah.
But like I said, if you talk about a corporate investor, they're not actually buying stocks. They're just lending money, venture capitalists, and I mean, I guess they sometimes buy stock, but yeah, I'm just saying there's a slight difference between just a true investor versus a shareholder.
1,069 pages, by the way.
Jesus. Okay, yeah, so I said it's just over 1,000. I was right. See, I know what I'm talking about. Hey. Okay, I have no idea how to answer this question.
It makes you feel any better. The questions get easier as you go on.
Yeah, I know. The first 2 pages are always the worst. The only social responsibility of a company should be to deliver a profit to its shareholders. Fuck me.
Does a company also have a social responsibility to, let's say, not dump chemicals into lakes or?
Yeah, they do have a responsibility to not fuck up the ecosystem and not fuck over their.
It's not the only social responsibility they have.
Okay, disagree then. The rich are too highly taxed. How highly are they taxed right now? I don't actually know the rate.
Way too fucking much.
Okay, but like, what's that
barely
rate?
Taxed.
They're the lowest taxed in the Western world.
See, I don't know how taxes work.
And with the loopholes and everything they have, most of them pay far less. 10%, 15%, or less.
See, I don't even like tax. I don't even like getting taxed myself, so I can't be like, yeah, they're too highly or they're not too highly taxed because it's like one of those like necessary evils. So I don't know how much is too high versus how much is not enough. Ideally, I'd like to be able to live in a society where no one has to get taxed, but I understand the realities of that. But
that wouldn't be a society.
That wouldn't be a society, yeah, no.
That would be full-on anarchy.
Well, okay. I have ideal ways that the world would work, obviously. Everyone has their, like, oh, I'd rather this not be a thing, but obviously there are certain things that you kind of have to reconcile with, and taxes are one of them. Death and taxes. The 2 necessary evils. They're too highly taxed. They're not enough taxed. See, this would be easier if I knew how much they were taxed exactly, but obviously that number is gonna be wishy-washy, isn't it?
Well, I mean,
like I know there's a rate, but
well, yeah, the income tax for the highest bracket is 36%. 37%. The capital gains tax. So when money make selling stocks, it's only 10 to 15%. I think estate tax was abolished. And then corporate tax rates. Yeah, yours. What did Trump drop it to? 22%, I think.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
So add it up. That's like.
It's still a hell of a lot of money.
But right now, you know, like what was used in the 2012 campaign for Obama was that Mitt Romney's secretary paid a higher percentage of taxes than Mitt Romney did, because Mitt Romney made his money on stocks, where he only had to pay 10 to 15%, while his secretary was paying over 30%.
This is the worst.
That's the thing. Should they have to pay money on stocks at all?
Yes. It's virtual money. That's that would.
If it's transactional, then yes.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we all pay sales tax on other stuff, right?
Yeah, that's the only time you pay anything on stocks is if you transact them.
And that's why the Elizabeth Warren proposition of taxing wealth does not rely on the movement of money. So that 2% wealth tax that she's proposing is for any money or asset anywhere in the world. So the capital gains is only for money that is moving.
I'm gonna... why can't we just have the one tax?
Well, if you believe in a flat tax, that would mean you believe the rich are too highly taxed.
Right, because with their loopholes, they typically pay around, like, say, 10% just on their actual income tax, because of they have a greater ability to have deductions and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I agree that they are too highly taxed then?
Yep.
But that means you want either services for the poor cut or taxes on the poor raised.
I fucking hate this nonsense. This is why I'm not even
The world is complex.
I would say we spend too much on social programs for the poor anyway, so...
Low-key sane.
I mean, if that's what your belief is. But I'm just saying that you can't just lower their taxes and not have it.
No, I'm aware there's there's a balance here, but I do think that we have a few too many social programs that I can't get behind, and I don't think that they're handled properly.
But that's true with every government.
Oh yeah, obviously. I think government needs to fucking do better, or fuck off.
Get good, scrub.
I think we can all get behind that. Do better, fuck off.
Well, unfortunately, you have a government of the rich, so it's going to be said for the rich.
Obviously. Okay. I don't want to... No more of this. No more of this nonsense. Let's get past the econ stuff, please. Those with the ability to pay... Huh?
The econ stuff's almost done.
Okay.
Let's just let Weebo answer these questions, and then, like, only if she's, like, struggling with one, like, offer.
Sure.
I feel like such a dum-dum. But this is why we're doing this, because it's important that you guys recognize that I'm not infallible and I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to this kind of shit. Those with the ability to pay should have access to higher standards of medical care. Yes. That's how capitalism works. She hesitated, unsuredly. I'm sorry. Are you calling me a commie? Because I'm pretty sure that's not communist. That's not communist. Huh?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Government should penalize businesses that lead the public. I actually agree on this. I don't like liars. Fuck them.
That's a regulation.
Okay, I'm not a libertarian.
Get the commie back. You're just all over the place.
That's why we're doing this, so you know. A genuine free market requires restriction on the ability to Fuck me. A genuine free market requires restrictions on the ability of predator multinationals to create monopolies. Fuck me. What does that mean? A genuine free market requires restrictions on the ability of predator multinationals to create monopolies.
Something similar like the anti-monopoly laws we already have in the United States, where monopolies are broken up when they become monopolies.
Because a textbook of free market means there's no regulations to prevent anything. So if a monopoly happens under a free market system, then that's a good thing. However, if you believe monopolies are a bad thing, then you would be you'd think that monopolies interfere with free markets, then you are stepping in to create a genuine free market and put restrictions on monopolies.
That's the thing. A free market can't have corporations in it, because then you no longer have a free market. You have something that's destroying a free market to me.
To be quite honest, I feel like corporations at a certain point get to the point where they're too big to actually be considered anything. They get to that point where they're like, you gotta do what we say, otherwise you can't exist at all. Something like, or not exist, but like you can't be
a competitor. Yeah.
Well, not even competitor. You just like, okay. So whenever it has something to do with the fact that we're seeing a lot more of multinational, or just corporations in general, stepping into roles that we haven't seen them step into previously, like Patreon, you know, right, being pissy with Sargon about his use of certain words off platform, and then cutting his financial capability to make a living. Didn't Chase Bank decide to cut off that guy's bank account because he was part of the Proud Boys? Like, stuff like that. I feel like that's when you get to that point where you're too big to be like, we need to back this down a little bit. And I sound like a blithering idiot, but I think I'm getting my point across. Where they get to that point where they're too big and they are, the only other option is to fall in line or not have this thing because they have these...
They basically get so big that competition is just laughable.
And so then it's no longer a free market. It's more like a dictatorship put in place by something that's not supposed to be a government entity, but feels like it could be. Yeah, a monopoly, essentially. Okay, so I've thought my way through it. I'm going to agree. Yes.
Weebo said very assuredly.
I hate the fucking economic side of politics. I don't know anything about it. There's several reasons why I would never be a politician. This is one of the big ones. The other one has to do with the fact that I have a YouTube channel and I would never get elected. The freer the market, the freer the people. Also, I hate being in charge of people. The freer the market, the freer the people. Yes. Okay. Next page. Oh, thank God, it's page 3. We're halfway. We're a little bit under halfway done. Personal social values.
It's downhill from here.
It's downhill from here.
Easy question. Abortion.
When the woman's life is not threatened, should always be illegal. I'm gonna agree. And all authority should be questioned. Strongly agree. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. I'm split on this because it really depends. Like, what do they mean by that? Are they talking revenge or are they talking about justice? In the biblical sense? Oh, okay.
Well, no, it's not biblical at all. It's Hammurabi's law.
Yeah, it is Hammurabi's law. And that's Hammurabi's law is... Okay, from what I understand, Hammurabi is no, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Continue, what were you saying?
Okay, I'm... Just look at it from this perspective. Say there's a serial rapist and killer who obviously rapes his victims and then chops them up into little bits and then scatters them across the country. If it's eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, we should be raping that molester and then chopping up his body and scattering it across the country.
I don't want to go near a molester. Fuck that.
Are you familiar with what happens to molesters and rapists in
I know exactly,
the American prison system? It's exactly
they're the bottom of the totem pole. I understand that, but I'm saying from like a more moral perspective, should the state be allowed to do that?
I'm bringing in Cap and Crab, by the way, everybody. So it's about to get even more crowded.
I look at it like this. The natural law is tooth and claw. All else doesn't matter. Like,
we don't
okay,
live by natural law.
if this guy murders somebody, let's fucking kill him. That's just how.
Oh no, I can agree with that. It's just the nature of the murder is somewhat of contention. Like, it depends on how literally you take it.
But then there's a reason we have, you know, an impartial judicial system, and prisons are supposed to rehabilitate people. So if you agree with this, you're against how American court system is, and even the Magna Carta you're against.
Yeah. This is basically just tribal law.
Tribal law, just strictly eye for eye, literally eye for eye. We're supposed to take this literally, right? Okay.
Mob rule.
I'm gonna disagree.
Not necessarily mob rule.
Not necessarily, sure.
Taxpayers should not be expected to prop up any theaters or museums that cannot survive on a commercial basis. I'm gonna agree with this.
Notice how many times I'm clicking?
Schools should not make classroom attendance compulsory. I gotta agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a fucking teenager and you choose to be a dumb fuck, let them be a dumb fuck.
Yeah, I mean, like, we were talking about social hierarchies earlier, right? So this is kind of one of those naturally occurring hierarchical things. If people want to be idiots, then they have every right to be.
But then as a society, we know that kids that drop out are more prone to being criminals, which then are a burden on the taxpayers later on, along with the actual crimes they commit.
Well, think of it this way. A lot of times kids become dropouts because they're already criminals, because they live in, most of the time, lower income areas where crime is the only thing they have to do, and B, it's the only way to...
Right. This doesn't eliminate old crime, but compulsory school does cut down on crime.
It does have a positive effect on it. My only disagreement with it would be compulsory for every child, because there are a significant number of people who are uneducatable. I mean, the retarded, the physically disabled,
and they still go to school,
and they still are compulsory going to school.
Jingle, 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 jingle. Yeah,
My
I'm gonna stick.
always told me, we always need more ditch diggers.
More ditch stickers?
Ditch diggers.
Diggers. I got you.
Yeah.
Ditch stickers.
I can't hear either.
It's like, what the fuck did he say?
I mean, and the way I look at it is, if you're going to make school compulsory, at least give them an option between, you can go here and learn about all this boring shit you're never going to fucking use in day-to-day life, or you can go to a trade school.
Oh, school reform is definitely...
Well, no, I wouldn't. This isn't for higher education, right? This is for... Wait, what? Are we talking about higher education? Yeah, because...
Higher education is not compulsory.
No, but isn't, like... trade school is above that level of high school, right?
Correct.
Currently, okay. But there are propositions to, the last 2 years, so after the age of 15, give students, the option, instead of taking more math classes, to, learn crafts and...
Well, okay, so here's the problem with this question, is that they're not stipulating to, like, oh, is this strict, like, you don't have to go to school at all for all ages, or is it, like, after a certain point? That's my... I hate this fucking thing.
It's all ages. The way it's worded comes off as all ages.
It's all ages? Okay, well now I'm reconsidering, 18. Because I'm gonna disagree on...
Up to age 18.
I think that we should have a basic education. You should know how to read, write, and stuff, but after a certain point, people get to the point where they're just like, they're either gonna be there and they're not gonna be there, and they're gonna be a distraction or something like that.
Wait, what state requires 22-year-olds to be in high school?
Florida. You 23 is the max age you can be and still be in high school.
No, but they can't compulse you.
All right,
yes.
I'm moving on. This is supposed to go faster than it is. God, we're an hour in.
We're only halfway done with this one.
Go, go, go.
Okay, all people have their rights, but it is better for all of us that different sorts of people should keep to their own kind. I'm going to disagree. Good parents sometimes have to spank their children. Agree. It's natural for children to keep some secrets from their parents. Agree. Possessing marijuana for personal use should not be a criminal offense. Agree. The prime function of schooling should be to equip the future generations to find jobs. Agree. People with serious inheritable diseases should not be allowed to reproduce. Strongly disagree. The most important thing for children to learn is to accept discipline. I wouldn't say that's the most important thing. There are no savage and civilized people. There are only different cultures. I'm going to disagree strongly. Those who are able to work and refuse the opportunity should not expect society's support. Yeah, I'm gonna strongly agree with that. When you are troubled, it's better not to think about it, but to keep busy with more cheerful things. No, you have to tackle your problems. Otherwise, they're not gonna be solutioned. You can't.
That question was, what is troubled?
When you are troubled, it's better not to think about it, but to keep busy with more cheerful. Oh.
Yeah,
it's a vague question.
Yeah, if it's something out of your
does that even
control, then you might as well not stew on it.
I mean, I guess that makes it. I hate this fucking thing.
But if it is something that you can control, like you said, it's probably best to just address it.
I'm gonna be a whiny little bitch about this the whole time. First-generation immigrants can never be fully integrated with their native country. I'm gonna disagree on that, because people can try really fucking hard to get integrated, and they can succeed. I believe that. They don't, but they can. That's what I'm getting at. What's good for the most What's good for the most successful corporation is always ultimately good for all of us. Not necessarily.
At Umbrella Corp, our business is like itself.
No broadcast.
It's the word always.
Yeah, I don't deal in absolutes. I'm not a Sith Lord. No broadcast.
But isn't by saying that meaning that you are dealing in absolutes? Because you're saying that all Sith Lords deal in absolutes?
Did you not watch Star Wars? Because I watched Star Wars. That was the message I got.
No, I understand, but by saying that, okay, I'm
basically what she's saying is she absolutely does not believe in absolute.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah, Cap and Crab waiting still.
Oh, we do? I thought I pulled him in.
He left.
Cap and Crab, stop leaving me. Come back. Hi. Okay, we're on the last question of the third page. Thank God, no broadcasting institution, however independent, its content should receive public funding. I don't like the BBC, because why would...
But in America, it's PBS. Don't tell me you're against Big Bird and Elmo.
Stop.
Fuck them.
You don't understand how traumatizing.
Listen, if a giant 7-foot bird came up to me in the middle of the street and said, "Hey, man, you got some money for me?" I'd say no. Fuck
I'm
off.
agreeing with it. I'm agreeing with it. You can't change my mind.
If I had that happen to me, I would be very, very against using that acid again.
I can't talk about that because when I was a kid, I watched John Wayne movies. I never watched Big Bird or any of that shit.
All right, our civil liberties are being excessively curbed in the name. Wait, our civil liberties are. Fuck me. Our civil liberties are being excessively curbed in the name of counterterrorism.
Do you want me to read those for you, Weebo?
No, I got this. I can read. Kind of. I don't have a readily available example of how they're being curbed, though.
Well, like the Patriot.
I don't think that they have a example of excessively curved.
The NSA monitoring all phone calls and text messages and
emails, the whole nine.
That's kind of excessive.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna agree with that. I don't like the NSA looking in on my sexy time pictures.
No, they ask about that later on.
Oh, fuck. Significant advantage of a one-party state is that it avoids all the arguments that delay progress in a democratic political system. Progress is supposed to take fucking forever. I'm sorry, but that's the way that the cookie crumbles. It's supposed to crumble.
This off to me like it was written by Herman Goering.
I'm gonna disagree. That's not an advantage.
Well,
that's a crippling thing.
I don't know if that's more of a question of if you support that idea. It's more, do you recognize that as an advantage?
Like I said, these questions are ambiguous, people. This is why I hate this quiz.
But it's also a false question because you can't have a democratic political system with one party.
Exactly. These fucking assholes! God damn it! Okay. I'm gonna disagree. We're gonna strongly disagree, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. Although the electronic age makes official surveillance easier, only wrongdoers need to be worried. disagree. Death penalty should be an option for the most serious crimes. Like, okay, so the death penalty kind of deals in that whole, you know, let's be absolute about it type of shenanigans. And also, it costs a lot more to put someone to death than it does to keep them for life in prison, so...
Assuming you follow the current system of putting them on death row, if you just take them out, like, string them up from a tree or put a bullet in the back of their fucking head, really didn't cost.
Well, but we have the current system in place with the appeals process because there's no certainty in any of this. I mean, the legal system is fallible, extremely so. Which,
and then if you kill them, you are eliminating future due process.
Yeah. So
I mean, even if somebody pleads guilty to capital punishment and they waive their right to an appeal and all that shit, they still sit on death row for years before they're executed, which is in itself is an issue.
I know, but death itself is kind of like the most absolute of absolutisms.
I'm not sure that's a word.
No, it's not, but we're going with it. In a civilized society, one must always have people above to be obeyed and people below to be commended. I'm going to agree with that, because I recognize that we live in a hierarchical society with, you know, that kind of shit. So, yep, that's explanation. Abstract art that doesn't represent anything should be considered art at all. Art's art, man. I'm going to disagree. It's subjective. Whoever has whatever the fuck is whatever the fuck. In criminal justice, punishment should be more important than rehabilitation. I'm gonna disagree. Rehabilitation is important, but there are some people that you can't rehabilitate, so I guess, you know, that's why I'm not strongly disagreeing with it. It is a waste of time to try to rehabilitate some criminals. I like that they included some, so I'm gonna agree. There are some criminals that you can't rehabilitate.
That's ones you put to death.
But who determines and at what time?
That's a good question.
Just
left
for rap sheet.
Left for not me people to disagree upon. Good thing I'm not in that position because I don't want to be. The business person. Oh, sorry. Did you want to say something?
I was gonna say it was like if it's if it's somebody who's always reoffending for the same charges, whether they're involved in a criminal organization such as a street gang or the mafia, at that point you can go, you know what? This person's always going to be this way. We've tried, we failed. Fuck it. Hang the fucker.
Well, we elected one president.
So, the business and the manufacturer are more important than the writer and the artist. I'm gonna disagree. They're not necessarily. It depends. What is that business person and or manufacturer business personing about in manufacturing?
What about SDA is the writer? What business person is more important?
Well, they don't specify what kind of business person, what kind of manufacturer, what kind of writer, what kind of artist. I mean,
they're both putting out goods. They're just putting out different types of goods.
Anything like if the manufacturer is someone who produces sex toys, are they more important than the writer who is, you know, drafting up bills for Congress people? Right?
I looked at it from a different angle. I looked at it from like writers and artists have been around a lot longer before the modern concept of a businessman.
Yeah.
And which one has been more influential and cultural and basically in culture? And I was like,
well, that's another thing to consider. That makes it easier for me to disagree.
Oh, going deep on us. Jeez.
Yeah. Because think about it. Machiavelli was a politician, but he also wrote The Prince and the other book. And Machiavelli was very influential for his time as well. So
What
was
about
He's a business person too.
What about the widget maker? I almost said midget maker.
The midget maker. Yeah, no, the baker person, I'm pretty sure is not as the baker, the nameless baker person from the Renaissance is not as important as Machiavelli was. Let's be honest, and that's that.
Or you can look at it this way: do you want the dude who runs Twitter, or do you want H.P. Lovecraft? I'm gonna take Lovecraft.
I'm gonna take Lovecraft too.
I want delicious bread.
Yeah, but delicious bread is not as immortal as the words written on a page. Mothers may have careers, but their first duty is to be homemakers. I'm gonna disagree.
Get in the kitchen, Weebo.
Actually, it's not my night to cook. It's someone else's.
Feminist.
Tuesday's my night to cook, bitches. That's why I don't do anything on Tuesday.
What if the woman doesn't have a family to begin with? Therefore, how is she gonna make a home that nobody's?
What if she lives in an apartment?
It specifies mothers. That's the thing.
Yeah, it specifies the mother aspect.
really depends on, okay, so because like what if the mother is professionally trained in, say, I don't know, learning to code? What if she's learned to code and her husband is a Vox writer? Who should be the homemaker, do you think? Sorry.
Both of them.
Multinational companies are unethically exploiting the plant genetic resources of developing countries. How can you unethically exploit plant genetic resources?
By not giving anything to the developing countries.
Or just walking in there using the native peoples as slaves and then murdering them and taking their shit like Belgium did in the Congo with ebony.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's not happening so much as of right now anymore, though.
But is it happening? I think that's their question.
Oh, it is.
It is happening.
You have to look at, like, India. Like,
yeah.
We use a lot of India's resources, but now look at where they're competing on the global scale.
Well, we also use a lot of African nation.
Yeah.
We use a lot of the African nations' resources too, and give almost nothing. But China is exploiting Africa.
I like what Roger Brown says in the chat. I only make tacos. That's correct. I only make tacos. And I'm gonna, the fact that they don't ask is a troubling thing. Like, they don't ask to what degree it's a thing, that rather they just say that it is happening is a grounds to agree, because it is happening. We can acknowledge that. Just, is it that problematic, or is it? I hate this fucking quiz. Making peace with the establishment is an important aspect of maturity.
Oh, the end of 1984, Winston's Dilemma.
That's a good connection. I didn't make that connection. I thought of it as
I'm gonna agree
how
with that.
society forces you to conform as part of being a quote-unquote...
You know, that's the way I took that as well.
I'm gonna actually, I like the way that you look at that. It's, can you make peace with the current system that we're living in? Maybe government, but also societally, can you make peace with that? And how far are you willing to go to force change? And
you
how
can't always be a rebel.
Exactly.
Take it to the streets.
Always be a rebel. I'm gonna agree with that. Oh, 5 out of 6. It only took us more than an hour to get here. Jesus fuck.
These couple will go fast.
Incredibly easy. Yeah.
If you go through that...
In fact, we should just shut up for these.
Yeah, everyone shut the fuck up. Australia accurate... Australia!
Maybe not.
Australia. Astrology accurately explains many things. Strongly disagree. You cannot be moral without being religious. Strongly disagree. Wait, you cannot be moral without being... Yeah, okay, I strongly disagree with that. Charity is better than Social Security as a means of helping the genuinely disadvantaged. Isn't Social Security for elderly people?
And emancipated teens.
And emancipated?
Yeah, I have a friend whose parents were dead at the age of 16. He became emancipated, lived on his own, got Social Security and all that.
But how often does that happen as opposed to old people getting old and having Social Security to fall back
It's also for those who are disabled.
Okay, I'm gonna disagree. I think charity's better for impoverished people rather than people who just have a disadvantage as a way of, or a natural disadvantage that they can't overcome. Like, old age is something that you kind of just, you live with. A disability is kind of just one of those things. But then, of course, that brings into the question, what kind of disability does that person have? Alright, some people are naturally unlucky. See, now, I'm not a superstitious person, but I fully believe that there are some people who are just not with it.
I know, not everyone is as lucky as Jolandar.
Actually, you know what?
I was just gonna say Steve Shives, but okay.
I'm gonna disagree with this, because I could also explain it as you make poor decisions even though you should make better decisions. It is important that my child's school instills religious values. I'm gonna disagree with that strongly. It's not that important. Alright, finally, a look at sex. This is what I know we're all waiting for. Aren't we? Sex outside of marriage is usually immoral. Disagree. Strongly, it's not that immoral. Same-sex couples in a stable, loving relationship should not be excluded from possibility of a child of... Fuck, I fucked that up. But you get the idea. They're adopting children. I'm gonna agree strongly. They should not be excluded from the possibility of child adoption, especially when consider like I said something about this in my last video about how, like, you know, I'd rather have gay parents adopting a child than a dead child altogether. Like, let's allow that. I feel like we can come to that agreement. Pornography depicting consenting adults Pornography depicting consenting adults should be legal for the adult population. I'm gonna agree with that. It should be legal. Depicting consenting? Yeah, okay, good. There are no slip-ups there. What goes on in a private bedroom between consenting adults is no business of the state. I'm gonna agree. No one can feel naturally homosexual. I'm gonna strongly disagree. These days, openness about sex has gone too far. You know what? I'm gonna agree with that. We don't need to see your tits out.
I have to disagree with that.
That it hasn't gone too far?
Well, you're
No, that we need to see the tits out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, after seeing that fucking English professor with that ungodly bush, I tend to...
Okay, are we ready? Are we ready, everybody?
Yep. I got my results.
You got your results?
I got mine.
I've already posted mine.
I got mine.
Oh,
too.
wow. I'm just left of libertarian. Just left of center. Just left of center, more libertarian leaning.
I got Gandhi.
Okay.
I got
Economic left or right, -0.5. Social libertarian authoritarian, -3.54. And
That's
what did
almost
Lynn...
exactly what you got before.
That's almost exactly what I got before?
Yep.
So what I heard was Jolandar is a fruitarian who likes fucking bitches, not always consent.
Alright, so that's what I got. You guys are about to see... no, you're not, actually, because I'm not screen sharing. But I'm going to take a picture of that. So that I have that. Nice. Okay, so who am I most like again? What was that? I'm not... There's no one. There's no one here. There's no one here.
You're very unique.
Thanks. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So that's what my political compass looks like, which basically is the same thing. Now, political coordinates is different, I'm assuming.
It's a lot of the same questions.
It's a lot of the same questions.
They all pretty much have some of the same questions.
But it's less like a hot mess for me, right?
It's only 36 questions.
There's only 36 questions, and you do have the option to stay neutral.
Okay, yeah, let's do this. Oh, no, hang on, back. I didn't answer that. At least you can go back. Question 1 of 36. Monarchy and aristocrat titles should be abolished.
Oh, wait a minute. Yours are in different order than mine.
Yeah, okay. I don't really care. Yeah, I'm gonna go next. Free trade is better than third world countries than development aid. I'm gonna agree with that. The government should redistribute wealth from the rich to the poor. Strongly disagree! The government should provide healthcare to its citizens free of charge. Disagree. Yeah. It is legitimate for nations to privilege their own religion over others. Disagree. There are too many wasteful government programs. Agree. Jesus fuck. Thank you, Mr. Rongook, who just subscribed. Shit. Country should never go to war without the support of the international community. What if they want to go to war with the international community?
I mean...
Is the international community always right, though?
No, because for the most part, during the beginning of World War II, most of the international communities were pretty much like, hey, let's just leave Germany alone. You know, we fuck with them enough.
Some countries and civilizations are natural enemies. I'm going to strongly disagree with that. There's no natural enemies necessarily. I mean, there are natural enemies in terms of, like, I hate fucking snakes, and that's a natural enemy, but humans, not so much. It takes a little bit more
Palestine
than
and Israel disagree with.
Yeah, well, they only hate each other because of something that happened in the past that, you know, that's not necessary. That's manufactured hatred.
Well, let me expand. The entire Muslim world versus Israel.
Yeah, but that, I wouldn't say that's natural. That's created by the fact that religious opposition is a thing that exists in both of their religions. Right?
More like they think they're scum and therefore should not ever exist, and Israel's like, hey bro, leave us the fuck alone.
Yeah, but is that a mentality breeded because it's just naturally that way, or is it because of, is it breeded in them because of the way that their religion has had them perceive and history has had them perceive the other side?
Yeah, it's a set of circumstances.
It is. It is imposed by a set of circumstances.
Yeah, it's less to do with the religion and more to do with, well, it has to do a lot with the religion, but yeah, just circumstances and proximity.
Government spending with the aim of creating jobs is generally a good idea. I'm going to say okay with that. I'm going to agree with that. If people want to drive without a seatbelt, that should be their decision. I agree. If you want to fucking die in a car accident because you got launched out of the front window, that is your prerogative, sir. Speculation on the stock exchange is less desirable than other kinds of economic trade. I don't know what the fuck this means. I'm gonna say next, because I don't have an opinion. Capital punishment should be an option in some cases. Okay, so the way that they word this,
yes,
that's what that means. Okay,
Aye.
Just double checking. Rehabilitating criminals is more important than punishing them. Agree. Strong military is better foreign policy tool than a strong diplomacy. Disagree. Sometimes diplomacy can get you shit done. Overall security leaks like those perpetuated by Edward Snowden WikiLeaks do more harm than good. I'm gonna disagree. Because knowledge is power, power is pizza, pizza is everything. The government should set a cap on the wages of bankers and CEOs. No, fuck that noise. Strongly fuck that noise. Overall, label unions do more harm than good. I don't know anything about the labor unions, so I can't really say definitively. Some people and religions are generally more trouble than others. Yeah. There is at heart a conflict between the interest of business and the interests of society. There can be, but I'm not saying that it's the heart of it. So I'm gonna go neutral. Homosexual couples should have all the same rights as heterosexual couples. Yeah, I fucking agree with that. Prostitution should be legal. I fucking agree with that. My country should give... Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wait, what? Hang on. I heard noise. Who was surprised?
I think Messiah was.
Oh. No. I was just saying, ooh, do tell.
Oh.
Well, I mean, if people want to have sex for money, let them. I have the same opinion on prostitution that I have on drugs, that I have on...
No, I understand. I was just making like a lighthearted jab.
Oh, wow, that was a good burp. Rating on that? Can I get a rating?
I give it a 4.
7.
It was a little
7?
short.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite full. Didn't have enough basin.
You
It has a good depth, though.
It had substance. That's all that counts.
It had heart and soul. We should name it Rudy.
Stop.
My country should give more foreign development aid to third world countries. I'm gonna disagree with that, because that's not helping them. That's giving them a crutch to lean on. They should, yeah. Anyway, question 23 of 36. People who turn down a job should not be eligible for unemployment benefits from the government. I agree with that.
I have a question for that, though.
Yes.
Does that mean you agree with certain states putting a minimum earnings cap before you can actually qualify for it?
Minimum earnings cap before... You mean like, oh, if you make below this amount of money...
No, you have to make at least this low amount of money before the state will give you your food stamps or Medicaid or anything.
They're talking about unemployment, not necessarily food stamps. Unemployment's a little bit different than that type of economic aid.
Well, I think it has to... There's something to be said about the way that people approach money in... What's up?
Oh, nothing. I just got my results back from mine, and they're drastically different.
Yeah, that's why
Really?
I wanted to take more than one, because I'm like, this is why this is an issue. So in terms of unemployment, and just turning down jobs, I think that if you have the opportunity to take a job and you don't have a job currently, take that job. You're not better than that job is. If you need the money, you need the money. But if you
Absolutely.
turn down that job and you take unemployment, that's fundamentally an issue.
Because you can take that crap job and then go get a better job while you're actually
making some money. Yeah, you shouldn't just leech off the teat of the government because you think you're better than that job. So I'm gonna click next. The market is generally better at allocating resources than the government. Generally better at allocating yeah, I'm gonna agree with that, actually. I think. Yep, we're gonna agree with it. I already picked next. We need to increase taxes on industry out of concern for the climate. Are we increasing climate-related taxes? Because I say... yeah. Yeah, let's do that. Quality is more important than economic growth. Wait, hang on. How do those two things relate? Equality is more important than economic growth?
They're saying, like, should we have more equality or should we have more opportunity for, or not even opportunity for, a more stable economy?
Are they saying force a more stable economy or... oh god, this question, I don't know how... quality is more important than economic growth.
I took it as equality of outcome versus equality of opportunity.
That's what I'm thinking it is, but it doesn't sound like necessarily that's what they're going for.
I think it is, and I also think it's not. I think they're leaving it intentionally open to see where you...
right.
I'm gonna say neutral, because I'm not confident either way. Marijuana should be legal. Yeah. Surveillance and counterterrorism programs have gone too far. Yeah. Taxpayer money should not be spent on arts or sports. Yeah. Right? Are we talking about in schools? Are we talking about... like...
no, it doesn't say in schools.
It doesn't say in schools. Alright, I'm just gonna say I agree. It should not be. It almost never ends well when the government gets involved in business. Yeah. Medically assisted suicide should be legal. Let's go... not strongly agree, just middle agree. An immigrant wants to fly the flag of his home country on my country's soil. That's okay with me. Yes, they have the freedom to do that. That's called freedom of expression. They have that right. Not that I approve, but they have that right.
That's also called St. Patrick's Day, Cinco de Mayo.
Exactly. Immigration to my country should be minimalized and strictly controlled. Or minimized and strictly controlled. I think that it definitely has some improvements that could be made, but overall, like, we should have immigration. Import tariffs on foreign products are a good way to protect jobs in my country. Foreign products are good. Are they? I don't know. So I'm just going to say neutral. Next. Western civilization has benefited more from Christianity than from the ideas of ancient Greece. I'm going to disagree. I'm going to say ancient Greece had a lot of good ideas. And bad ones. But mostly good. Overall, the minimum wage does more harm than good. Like I said, I'm not an economist, so I don't know these things. But... yep, we're just going to say neutral. Finish! Oh, wow. Is that where that's where I am? I am more right of center. Right? Yeah. Wait, communitarian and a liberal? Left and right? What the fuck does that mean? Are they just going... this is supposed to be libertarian, right? And this is supposed to be... author... what the fuck? What the... oh, no! I just killed it. That's fine. I already have it. Okay, so I'm 30.6% right and 47.2% liberal. How the fuck does that even... again, I am, like, no one on this list. But yeah, okay, so here we are. This is it. Like I said, it's... silly. You guys have grown pretty quiet. Did you guys die? Did everyone leave? Jay Willie, come in here. Talk to me. Everyone else is quieted.
Hello?
Alright, there we go.
Yeah, you're back now.
What happened?
You were roboting really hard.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
Not on a stream, but...
Not on stream, but for you guys.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay, well, now we have the political compass test for this one as well.
Are you looking at the Playbuzz one?
Yeah.
Oh, hi there.
It's
Sorry.
exactly this first. It
Like,
seems the first one you took.
I was being accepted into the call.
Sorry, did you not want to be in here?
Sorry, it's gonna fix the sound.
No, you're fine.
Sorry.
Alright, I'm going to put these in the thing, but first off, I have to label them.
Yeah, but that Playbuzz one is exactly the same as that first one you took. So
Yeah, no,
It
seriously,
is.
this is like legit plagiarism.
word for word. Well, this one came first. This is actually from 2015, so they may have just reformatted it.
Oh, alright. So that one's done. So then the Playbuzz one, just ignore it? Alright.
Yeah, ignore that one.
Alright, then I guess we'll do the 8 values one.
But before we move on, sorry, something I wanted to say about it, but I forgot what that was. I'll come back to it later. If that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so the 8 values. Click here to start. We're gonna do this. Yeah.
Oh no, I remember now.
He remembers.
When they said equality is more important than economic growth, I would say I strongly disagree with that, because equality is such a it's the most useless concept ever. Like, it doesn't, like, if all people are treated equally, well, that doesn't mean that all of them are treated good. Like, if some people are treated good and some bad, right, that's not good. But if all of them are treated bad, that's not good either. Like, you get the point?
Kind of.
So, if, like, what we should do is to make sure that the most amount of people are having it as good as possible, not that everyone having it equally good. So that's why I would strongly disagree with what they said. Equality is more important than economic growth.
Okay.
Because actually, I would say that some people do deserve to have it better than others because they're trying better. Also.
You're roboting a little bit, so I can't completely 100% understand
I
you, so.
disagree with that statement. I think the person's opportunity to have it better than another person should be entirely based off their character and hard work and their will to work, not just because they have a greater potential.
Oh, yeah,
Okay, so guys, we have half an hour to take this 8 values test, and I hear it's 70 questions, so we're gonna rapid fire this bitch. All right, we're gonna do it.
That's a good idea.
All right.
Good luck.
You will be presented with a series of statements. For each one, click the button with your opinion on it. Got it. Oppression by corporations is more of a concern than oppression by governments.
Oh, hell no.
Strongly disagree. If it is necessary for the government to intervene in the economy to protect consumers. Agree. The freer the market, the freer the people. Agree. It is better to maintain a balanced budget than to ensure welfare for all citizens.
Agree.
Welfare is in, like, social benefits, right? We're talking about
stuff
monies.
like that. I mean, if you don't have a balanced budget, then you can't
give
provide
more
welfare.
fair. So yeah, no, I'm gonna disagree.
Grease yourself, basically.
Okay, publicly funded research is more beneficial to the people than leaving it to the market. I'm gonna disagree. International trade is beneficial. Agree. From each according to his ability to each according to his needs. Fuck that noise. It would be best.
I would say this: not for each according to his abilities, to each according to his needs. For each according to her abilities, for each according to his needs.
I see what you did there. It would be best if social programs were abolished in favor of private charity.
God, that's a hard.
I would disagree. I would disagree if they mean.
I
like,
personally
entirely.
agree. I mean, because when it was originally formed, it was just to help out at that time during the Great Depression. It was never meant to go on all these fucking years afterwards.
They were talking about social programs in general, not just Social Security.
Oh, I know. Like, completely fucking get away with this shit or completely fucking fix it. Because right now it's broken and it's being fucking...
I'm gonna say neutral. Taxes should be increased on the rich to provide for the poor.
Oh God, no.
Disagree.
Sorry.
Inheritance
Not
is
for
a
that
legitimate form of wealth.
Of course.
Yeah. Public utilities like roads and electricity should be publicly owned.
No. Like, for example, I lived in Cape Town for a while, and when the government owned it, it was bad, and when people owned it themselves, it was good. So, I think it should be owned publicly.
Our roads are currently publicly owned.
Yeah,
Well,
our roads
they're
are
owned by
publicly owned, but I didn't think that electricity is.
No, it isn't.
It's provided by a company.
Yeah, it is.
But it-
That's
Our roads are shit. I don't know if you guys know this, but Illinois roads are fucking horrible.
Well, I live in Arkansas, and if our roads were privately funded, we wouldn't have any because we're prone to flooding or freak fucking random winter storms that causes shit to freeze, and people don't listen to signs and drive fucking vehicles and shit over them.
So I can't say that I wholeheartedly disagree with this. I'm gonna say I'm gonna agree with it. I'm gonna agree they should be publicly owned, but electricity I don't think it should be. So unsure. Excessive government intervention is a threat to the economy. Yeah, it is. Excessive government intervention is a threat. Those with greater ability to pay should receive better healthcare. Agree. Quality education is a right of all people. Education is a right of all people. Yeah, it's a right of all people. Not
Yeah, but
necessary.
some people are too dumb to like pass it. So
Well, it's you have a right to get it. You have the right to go for it, but you have to be willing to throw down some big dollars for it. That's the difference. The means of production should belong to the workers who use them. No. The United Nations should be abolished. I don't know enough about the United Nations to definitively say either way, so I'm going to be neutral about it. Military action by our nation is often necessary to protect it. Is often necessary? Yes. I support Fuck me. I support regional unions such as the European Union.
No. I've lived in that. That's not good.
Anything you let Germany be in charge of is going to be an issue at some point or another.
Yeah. It is important to maintain our national sovereignty. I would agree with that.
You realize we're a regional union.
Yeah, but you are good.
We do it better.
Yeah, the European Union have a not as good system as you got. You got a better system, and when countries like Germany and Sweden have their immigration policies, then that is going to be a problem for the rest of the Union. So.
A united world government would be beneficial to mankind. No.
Gosh, no.
It is more important. It is more important to retain peaceful relations than to further our strength.
I disagree.
I would say agree.
I strongly disagree because other countries will not follow that philosophy, such as Russia. Therefore, then all of a sudden, hey, guess what? They can march in and go, hey, you belong to us now. Good luck fighting. We're better equipped.
Here's the thing: a house divided cannot stand.
Yeah, but if there is a neighborhood with different houses, then all the houses can stand good on their own. Isn't that true? By their own statement.
Yeah, who says that we're all in the same house?
We are
in the same house.
We don't even understand each other. Like, people in Saudi Arabia are not in the same
I'm taking
house.
this from like a nationalist perspective.
I'm gonna say unsure because we have to do. We don't have time for the philosophical debate. Wars do not need to be justified to other countries. I mean, if you want allies, they kind of do. Right? I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Oh, wait, no, back. Do not. Yeah, no, I disagree with that. Military spending is a waste of money. Disagree. International aid is a waste of money. I do agree with that. My nation is great. Sometimes. Not all the time. I'm gonna be neutral.
Well, you're an American, so of course you would say yes. Like,
that's stereotype, man. Research should be conducted.
Honestly, your country is so much better than all the countries I've lived in.
I know.
Which is,
but we're not perfect.
Europe, so. No.
But think of it this way. If you say, yes, my country is great, then Donald Trump can finally shut the fuck up about making it great again.
Research should be conducted on an international scale. What the fuck does that even mean? Are we, like, collaborating
concern and stuff. Like we should be able to have collaborative efforts with
Oh.
other countries.
The
Oh,
CERN,
yeah, we should
information.
collaborate.
The
We
CERN,
should
CERN Labs
collaborate.
is a great example of that.
It also means whether you know, we should keep scientific advancements a secret from the rest of the world for either corporate gain or military gain. So
No, fuck
like so the scientists
I
are
already
part-
agreed with it, so we're going on.
Moving on.
Yeah,
Government
CERN-
should be accountable to the international community. I mean, aren't they already? Technically?
Well,
If
they
you
are.
piss off another country, they're gonna hold you to account.
the
No.
United States is not really held to account.
Yeah, we are.
Oh yeah.
By
who?
Russia. If we launch our missiles at
UN.
Russia, they'll kick us in the butt.
What has the UN done to the United States?
They've tried to do shit. Doesn't mean we're gonna fucking listen to it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They we're not accountable to them.
Okay,
I mean,
but
that-
I'm
that
gonna
same
say, hang on,
logic-
it's not are they, it's should they, and I say agree, so we're moving on.
No, wait. I need to say this. If the United States are basically funding the UN, so therefore UN need that money. And when the UN fought with America by not recognizing Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, but you funded it, then the USA pulled some of the funding to the UN, so they kind of can't because they need those American money.
Brad Young in the chat says these are weird, ambiguous statements. I completely 100% agree with you, which is why I have to simplify them for my tiny brain. Even when protesting an authoritarian government, violence is not acceptable. I agree with that. Don't be violent, because then you lose the moral high ground for the rest of the community, for the international community.
Unless you're a Bolshevik.
My religious values should be spread as much as possible. I'm not a big fan of people shoving religion down my throat. Our nation's values should be spread as much as possible. That's kind of...
Well, speaking of somebody who lived in, like, that's happening in places in Europe, and the religion people are shoving down people's throats tend to be Islam, so...
Well,
Our
all
nations,
Abraham's
I'm on to
religions-
nations right now, so we're not talking about religions anymore. Our nation's values should be spread as much as possible. I'm gonna... I like our nation's values. I like liberty, happiness, and, you know, all that jazz. So I'm gonna agree. It's a nice sentiment. It's very important to maintain law and order. Yeah, it is. The general populace makes poor decisions. Yes, that's why we have... Have you met the general populace? They're
Have you
fucking
seen
idiots.
Florida Man?
Retail?
Have you met everyone else?
I work retail currently. I know how fucking stupid people are.
Oh my God.
Victimless crimes such as drug use should not be crimes at all. I'm gonna agree with this one. The sacrifice of some civil liberties is necessary to protect us from acts of terrorism. No. I'd rather have those liberties than not have them and be safe. If that makes me silly, then that makes me silly.
Wasn't it Ben Franklin that said something along the lines of, if one gives up liberty, well, I forgot the whole quote, but for peaceful slave, or if one gives up liberty for safety, then they don't deserve either.
Yeah, I think it might have been him, but I think I know what you're
sounds
talking
more
about.
like John Locke.
I'm not sure who said it. I've been drinking.
Government surveillance is necessary in the modern world. Of who? Us or them?
Immigrants? Sure, but otherwise no.
Balak, shut the fuck up! The very existence of our state is a threat to our liberty. Of the state is a threat to our liberty?
Kinda.
I'm gonna be disagreeing with that. Because
Like-
it works to preserve it, sure. And, you know, you don't get to do whatever the fuck you want.
Like, the only reason why we have government is to protect citizens from the interests of other governments. So, technically, yes and no.
Regardless of political opinions, it is important to side with your country. No.
No.
It's not important to side with your country necessarily. It's important to prop up your country politically in the way that you want it to be. Yeah, I'm gonna say disagree. No authority should be left unquestioned. I'm strongly agreeing with that. Question authority. A hierarchical state is best. Agree. It is important that the government follows the majority opinion, even if it is wrong.
Absolutely not.
Jesus. Who determines what's wrong?
Yeah.
That's the issue. I'm gonna say unsure. The stronger the leadership, the better. Strong how? I mean, I think, you know what? I'll say I agree. Democracy is more than a decision-making process. What the fuck does that mean? It's more than a decision-making process? You get this option or this option. Decide. Disagree. It's not more than that. Actually, wait. It's a discussion.
Yeah, well, it means it's more than just at the ballot box. Like, it means...
It's a discussion. It's a debate. It's a constant, is this right or is this right? I'm going to agree, actually.
Okay.
I took it as more of a cultural thing.
See, I like this one because I can go back. Environmental regulations are essential.
I say yes, or else some companies would absolutely have us living on a barren fucking waste.
Yeah, I think that's what I answered earlier, and that's what I settled on.
Cuyahoga River.
This shit will turn into Mad Max.
A better world will come from automation, science, and technology. So this is one we haven't seen before, and I'm going to agree with it. Children should be educated in religious or traditional values. See, I don't like that they combine religious or traditional values, because I like traditional values. Just religious values... I'm gonna say unsure.
In some cases, they're the same.
We have 14 minutes. Traditions are of no value on their own. Disagree. Not necessarily. There are traditions that I can get behind. Santa Claus is important.
Yeah, and also it keeps the culture alive, so it's a good thing.
It does. Religion should play a role in government.
Absolutely not. That's cancer.
Churches should be taxed in the same way other institutions are taxed. Not really, because they take charity and then they redistribute it, right? And so long as they are redistributing it in a way that is charitable, I think that they should continue on doing their thing. Just so long as they don't involve themselves in government, we're good. Climate change is currently one of the greatest threats to our way of life. Not currently, maybe later, but not right now.
Come on, we only have 12 years.
See, I see a lot of statistics, and I'm not sure which one. I'm not a climate scientist, so I don't.
No, I can tell you, we have much longer than 12 years.
That's what I'm thinking. It is important that we work as a united world to combat climate change. Well, it's important, sure, but is it going to happen? I doubt it. China is China, and they will remain China.
And also, if climate change go out of line, then that would kill humans, and if humans die, then the climate would then recover. So it kind of solves itself, which is that humans suffer. So it's actually more should we suffer or not. And if we are that greedy, then the climate would fight back. Then we kind of deserve to suffer. So it's really fine.
Also, the world's currently warming up to then later cool off into an ice age, as is the Earth's cycle.
That too. But even if
society was better many years ago than it is now. Sorry, we have like 12 minutes, and I have just over 20 questions. So,
I have to disagree with that one.
They never give me like a specific time frame, so they could say 500 years ago.
Americana is best.
I'm gonna say unsure. It is important that we maintain the traditions of our past. Agree with stipulation. It is important that we think in the long term beyond our lifespans. I'm gonna agree, because I think it's important that my children inherit something palatable. Reason is more important than maintaining our culture. Reason? Yes, I agree with that, actually. Drug use should be legalized or decriminalized. I'm gonna agree with that. Same-sex marriages should be legal. I'm gonna agree with that. No cultures are superior to others. I'm gonna disagree with that. Sex outside of marriage is immoral. I'm gonna disagree with that. If we accept migrants at all, it is important that they assimilate into our culture. I'm gonna agree with that. Abortion should be prohibited in most or all cases. I'm gonna agree with that. Gun ownership should be prohibited for those without a valid reason. No. Wait, hang on. Valid reason. They never describe that. I'm just gonna disagree with it, because you don't need a valid reason. The Constitution is a valid reason. I support single-payer universal health care. I don't know what that fucking means. What that?
Government pays for it.
The government pays for it?
Universal health care.
Disagree. Well, prostitution should be illegal. Disagree. Maintaining family values is essential. Agree. To chase progress at all costs is dangerous. I'm gonna agree with that. Progress for the sake of progress alone is not necessarily ideal. Justify that progress. Genetic modification is a force for good, even on humans.
Nah.
So, no.
Depends on what genetic modification you're going for.
Yeah, we could genetically modify out Alzheimer's. I think that's a pretty good thing.
Yeah, if we genetically modify food in order to make more of it, I think that's also a good thing.
But you could also genetically modify out the Jews, the gays, or you can just fuck that up.
Okay, well, no, I don't think that
dies horribly.
I don't think that's what they were going for necessarily.
What governments tend to do to people historically?
I'm gonna say neutral.
Possible.
We should open our borders to immigration. No. Governments should be as concerned about foreign citizens as they are about those within their borders.
Fuck no, sorry.
Should be concerned about foreign citizens as they're about... Yeah. Agree. They should be concerned. All people are people. It means that they're all capable of the same amount of evil as everyone else. All people, regardless of factors like culture or sexuality, should be treated equally. Yes. Strongly agree. It is important that we further my group's goals above all others.
Yeah.
What kind of fucking question is that? No, I want them to win. Strongly agree, sure. Let's go with that. Alright, so here we are. 8 values. We have 9 minutes left. Fantastic. Economic axis. In the market, I'm 60% for the market, 40% for equality. Diplomatic axis is balanced, so 45 world, 54 nation. Civic axis is moderate. Wow, I'm a filthy fucking centrist.
Like me.
I'm a moderate in the civil axis.
On mine, on that one, I was centrist in everything, but I was like incredibly patriotic or some shit.
Closest match is centrist. Ideological matching is a work in progress and it much less accurate than the values and axes. You can send these results. Wait, hang on. Am I supposed to send this to somebody?
No. You can get the picture down below.
To the government.
Okay, yeah, just forward it to them. Snipping tool. You know what I really hate about the Windows 10 thing? Alright, so in contrast to a Macintosh, say, for instance, I can't just keyboard shortcut a screenshot unless there is a way to do that I'm unaware of.
Well, look for a print screen button.
Yeah, it's print screen. That does the screenshot. Or you could just right-click on that picture you have up, and that makes you can save that.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you can just hit copy image and then paste, and then it goes away, and you can actually save.
All right.
I've already sent all the results to the NSA, so just.
You've already sent them my results. Good.
Okay. All the NSA is gonna look in when they tap my shit is fucking midget porn, so it's fine.
So I'm gonna upload my results as well to the stream thing so that people can see exactly what it is that I am, and we're gonna do this next year at some point probably. Upload.
That's good because or else people are going to call it far right.
Okay, hold on.
Who is making noise in my Discord?
Quit wrestling with your microphone.
Am I making noise?
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it's scraping our fucking ears.
I'm sorry.
Oh shit! Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yes, you're fine.
Yeah.
Okay, for whatever reason, stream chat it says is not responding, and Discord is not responding. So I'm gonna have to close this and bring it back up. So give me a hot second. I'll be back.
Sure.
So how much do you guys hate Weebo Jones?
I can still.
Wow,
I can. Hang on.
Now that she's a filthy centrist.
Oh shit! I can still hear you guys.
He is just rattling that fence.
But I'm also a filthy centrist.
I can still hear you. Do you guys know that? Oh, no, I guess not. Did they all just get quiet, or did I actually leave the goddamn thing? Jesus fuck. Oh, you guys can hear me? We're good?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
All good.
Let's practice some
ASMR. Alright, so in the last 5 minutes of this stream, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you learned something about your favorite trap midget person. And that was that I'm a filthy centrist.
Same as last year.
Same as last year. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to disappoint. She is not for either side, apparently. I don't know what to do. I think a lot of the reason why I don't swing any harder to one side or the other is, in part, yes, of course, I don't want to be one of those, you know, filthy, partisan bastards, but also the fact that I'm ignorant on a lot of issues, and I would like to, that's part of why we're doing this live stream stuff, so I can learn from other people certain things. And I don't know if we have, like, I think we have an amalgamation of, like, different people with different political perspectives on certain issues, right? It's not just one-sided, is it?
It seems that way from the results.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, I'm very progressive.
Like, Messiah of Keck is a bastard market person and balanced in the diplomatic axis, but he's a... Oh, you're very moderate too, sir.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say, we're basically almost identical.
Yeah. No, I'm looking at it now and I'm like, ooh. Jolandar's a filthy leftist. Messiah's a filthy righty. Magato Musician is a freaking like very slight right libertarian centrist. I'm looking at your results, guys. Sorry.
Wait,
yeah.
How can... Okay. I never took any.
We don't seem to have any communists, though.
We don't have any communists. I'm sorry. We need to find a communist.
Oh wait, where do I fall?
Berserker's almost a communist.
Cap and Crap is an authoritarian righty.
However you say his name.
So yeah, we got a mixed bag here. We got an interesting mix. We're missing that crucial communist element, guys. Find me a communist.
The main issue is that there's never I don't give a fuck option, or else I would have answered that for almost everything.
Yeah, the UFO is far left, and then wow, you're all about that equality, man. Jeez. Oh, and now I can't hear a goddamn thing. I hope I didn't break my headphones. We're good. Yeah, so if you guys want to take the test, put your results in the stream chat of the Discord. Totally go do that. We're having a great time.
Where can I even take the test?
I put the stream link. I put all of the links to this. They're all in the description, and they're also far up in the stream chat if you would like to. You just go past all of the political compass things. Go to the quizzes. It's today. I uploaded it at like 10:57 this morning, so it should be there.
They're all in the same.
You get prostate in the wheat room.
Hang on, I gotta scroll back down again. Oh no, it didn't work. Anyway, so it seems I have a lot of leftists on this channel. We gotta fix that. I need more righties, and I need some commies too. This is unacceptable. Change your political affiliations, people. Just kidding. So yeah, I hope you guys learned something, and I hope you had a great time. And join us next time on next week when we talk about, what are we talking about next week, guys? What do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
Leave your suggestions in the comments section down below after this thing goes dead. And
we should take a Jordan Peterson test.
Jordan Peterson test. Those exist.
Ooh.
Yeah, his personality tests.
Oh, all right. Yeah, we can do that.
You should do Jordan Peterson's personality test.
You'll sound enough like Kermit.
I'll just be a lobster.
Yeah, exactly.
Does anyone have anything they want to shill?
Yes.
And that is.
I'm just gonna post the link to my channel as of right now because I had to actually redo the formatting on my video. It's not gonna be up until later on tonight, so I don't have the link to that video specifically. But if you go ahead and follow the link that I'm about to put in the side chat here, I'll also put it in the stream chat for anybody who's actually in this room. It will be up later on tonight.
Twitch.tv/Berserker5150.
And I'd like to show Weebo Incognito.
Oh, thank you. Yes, let's shill my other channel. By the way, guys, you should know that I have a second channel.
Suck up.
Here, I got you, Jay Willie. I will moderate
You got something brown on your nose there, bro.
Stop. It's not coming off.
Alright, that's fair. If that's it, then I will...
No, I have something to shell too.
Yeah, I know. I modded you so you can put it in the chat. What do you need to mod? Or what are we shilling?
No, it's just my YouTube channel. I'm making a video right now, and
okay.
And it will be up in a few days, a week now. But it will be up soon. I also got are the older videos people can watch because they're kind of funny.
Okay, cool. All right, so it's 6 o'clock. The stream is ending. I have class in an hour. Goodbye, everybody.
See ya.
Bye bye.